Welcome to Think About It with your host, Jaden Miller.
Good day and welcome to Think About It with Jaden Miller. I'm your host, Jaden Miller. Thank you guys for joining me on this beautiful Sunday. As a reminder, please like, share, and subscribe on my YouTube channel, and like, comment, and follow on your favorite podcast platform. I really strive to drop new episodes every Wednesday and Sunday. Today is Sunday, so I am providing you with a new episode. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, Castbox, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and all of the other podcast platforms. All right, so today I want to talk a little bit about that school shooting last Tuesday in Michigan at the Oxford High School. What a tragedy. Certainly what a tragedy for those young people that lost their lives. What a tragedy for the families. What a tragedy for that entire community. As you all know, Ethan Crumbley was a student at the school, and Ethan Crumbley is being held in the Oakland County Jail on charges of terrorism, first-degree murder, 7 counts of assault with intent to murder, and 12 counts of possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. Quite serious charges, as you all can imagine. And again, what a tragedy. Again, here in the United States, another school shooting. All of these poor victims and these young folks and their parents and this community have to live with this for the rest of their lives. All right. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the 4 individuals that died. Madison Baldwin was 17, Tate Myers 16, Hannah St. Juliana was 14, and Justin Schilling 17 years old. Tate Myers died in a patrol car as a deputy was rushing him to a hospital. All right. He died last Wednesday morning. Again, such a tragedy. The other people that were shot were 6 students and a teacher. Again, just a very, very tragic situation. What happened before the shooting is that there were several teachers that were concerned about Ethan Crumbley's behavior, starting about a day before the attack, which prompted a couple of meetings, including one with his parents just hours before the killings. Okay, the first behavioral report came last Monday when a teacher in the classroom where he was a student saw and heard something that she felt was disturbing. They had a counseling session. And then on Tuesday of last week, just hours before the shooting, a different teacher in a different classroom saw some behavior they felt was concerning, and they brought Ethan Crumbley down to an office where there was a meeting with school officials who called his parents. And then after the meeting, the parents refused, to take the child home. They insisted that he stay at school. Now, mind you, while Ethan Crumbley is at school, he has this gun in his backpack, okay? And so he certainly had the intentions to do what he was going to do, all right? Just to go back a little bit, on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, his father purchased this handgun used in the commission of these killings. And according to his father's attorney, he had the gun locked. All right. But again, the prosecutors, they say that they don't think that this happened and that Ethan had full access to this weapon and brought it to school and committed this horrible shooting. Ethan Crumbley's parents, James and Jennifer, have also been charged in this case, and I think that is absolutely the right thing to do. All right, they've been charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. All right, the Crumbleys were considered fugitives. All right, police arrested them Saturday morning, this past Saturday, in a Detroit warehouse after they received the tip that their car was nearby. Now, there are some attorneys working with the parents that contend that the parents were not fleeing and that they intended to turn themselves in on Saturday morning. They said that they left their home near the Oxford High School because of threats and because of safety. However, they took out a sizable amount of money out of their bank account, out of an ATM machine, and they were actually hiding in a building in Detroit. So that's a little sketchy. That's a little suspect. But I wanted to share this with you all, and this is about parents and their children. All right, guys, I just need to be honest with you. There are just some parents that think that their children are angels, that they could do no wrong. All right. There are some parents that will be the first to blame school officials. They'll blame teachers, as opposed to taking freaking responsibility for their bad-ass, raggedy-ass kids, okay? No, it's always someone else's fault. I thought that education, parenting, the responsibility for your children started at the home, okay? In the home, all right? But nowadays, parents feel as though everybody else is responsible for their children except them, all right? Especially when they get in trouble. Oh, well, it's your fault, or I didn't know about this. And that's the one that really gets me. The parents that claim they didn't know that their children were this way. And I asked the question, well, don't they live with you? Okay. Are you so blind? And I think what happens is there's some parents that are just so caught up in themselves that they aren't really considering or concerned about what their children are doing until their children are held accountable, or their children do something that they're not supposed to be doing, like in this situation here in Michigan, okay? It's always somebody else. So while parents are playing video games and going out with their friends, or watching television, or doing all things that they do, as opposed to watching their kids. And I'm not talking about all parents. I'm not talking about those great parents that spend time with their children, that know what their children are doing, that know that in their house, okay, there is no Fourth Amendment, okay, that they as parents have a right to search their children's things and go, because it's your house. It's not your child's house, okay? You pay the mortgage, or you pay the rent, not their children, okay? Some parents try so hard to be their children's friend. No, you're the parent, okay? There has to be an adult, okay? There has to be someone that teaches them to do the right things, to teaches them right behaviors. So what happens now is we've got all these idiots out in society that didn't have good home training and then are entitled, okay? And then we do have some parents out there that are so entitled, okay? Like these parents in Michigan, okay? Until the heavy arm of the law came down on them and let them know, well, you're not entitled, okay? So you thought you could just let your child come to school and he can kill some people, and then there's no responsibility on you. I am so glad that the Michigan authorities charge these parents, okay? And what I hope is that this sends a message to other parents that don't want to hold their kids accountable, that don't want to be responsible for their children, that but the law does hold you accountable, okay? So if you damage somebody's things as a child, well, your parents are responsible. Parents, you need to step up and say, yep, my child did this. And then you need to do what you need to do at home to keep your children from doing these things again, like teaching them lessons, okay? Like taking things away from them, like grounding them, or some form of a punishment. There's got to be something severe to let them know that their behavior is serious and that it has impacts on other people. There are so many parents that just dismiss. I mean, they cannot validate, they cannot empathize with someone else's kids, only theirs, even when their kids are obviously in the wrong, okay? And so that really, really bothers me. And I'm sure that it bothers many other parents out there because they're doing the right things, okay? But getting back to this case, so here you have this Ethan Crumbly, okay? He comes to school with a 9mm Sig Sauer semi-automatic pistol purchased by his father on Black Friday, all right? He's got 3 15-round magazines, okay? The gun had 7 rounds of ammunition in it. They found more than 30 shell casings, according to the sheriff there. They believe he fired at least 13 shots. He had 18 rounds left with 7 in his pocket. All right, there's still so much more damage that he could have caused. So again, this goes back to my point. See, parents know what their children are doing at home, or they're ignoring it. Okay? And see, when you ignore it, that's the same as knowing. How do you say that? What do you mean by that? Well, let's think about that for a minute, okay? So here, when your child spends all of their time in their room, okay, and you don't come and check on them, all right? When your child has become very, very distant, when your child likes a lot of violence, okay? When your child likes a lot of black things, and I'm talking about black art and, a lot of things that just have a lot of this darkness behind them, okay? There's something wrong there. You need to take some actions. You need to talk to your child. You need to take them to counseling. You need to make other people aware of what's going on, okay? You need to let school officials know, hey, I think there's something going on with my child, okay? I think maybe he needs some counseling. Can you help? All right? There's nothing wrong with seeking help. There is something wrong with ignoring problems at home, okay? Or ignoring when teachers and school officials tell you that there's a problem at school and you ignore it, okay? Because it's, oh, well, they're picking on him, okay? Or they're bullying my child. So you got school officials that are bullying your child. How ridiculous. How ridiculous. So if a school official or a teacher comes forward and says, well, you know what? 10 times I've had to tell your child not to do this, not to behave this way, not to involve themselves in violence. That's bullying. And so we ask the question, why are so many people ignorant and idiots out there in society today? All we got to do is go back and look at the parenting. Not in all cases. And again, I'm not saying that all parents are bad. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying that there are some that are. And you know it. There are some raggedy ass parents out there that are raising some raggedy ass children. Okay? It's just a fact. All right? Okay, yeah, it's my opinion, but in my mind, it's a fact, all right? And I think the statistics bear it out, okay? Bad parenting, in many cases, leads to children that involve themselves in destructive behaviors, all right? So anyway, let's talk about these parents for a minute, all right? Well, as I mentioned, they were found hiding, okay, in a building, all right, in Detroit, all right? They took out $4,000 from an ATM, okay, not far from the courthouse that they were supposed to have appeared at Friday afternoon, okay. There was a Detroit business owner that spotted a car tied to the Crumblies in his parking lot. He called police, and of course, the Detroit police came and placed this couple into custody, all right. Under Michigan law, the involuntary manslaughter charge filed against the parents can be pursued if authorities believe someone contributed to a situation where there was a high chance of harm or death. All right. Parents in the United States are rarely charged in school shootings involving their children, even as most minors get guns from a parent or relative's house. All right. School officials became very concerned about Mr. Crumbley, Ethan Crumbley, as I mentioned, a day before the shooting, all right? Jennifer Crumbley was contacted and subsequently told her son in a text message, laugh out loud, LOL, I'm not mad at you. You have to learn not to get caught. Can you imagine that? This is this mother of Ethan Crumbley sending this message to her son prior to the shooting. She trying to be too friendly with your kids, okay? You need to stop that, all right? Just really, really sad. And so then when the shooting starts, she sends him another text message. Ethan, don't do it. Now, before that, you're LOLing him, okay? All right, telling him that you're not mad at him and you have to learn not to get caught. What kind of parenting is that? Learn not to get caught. Ethan, don't do it. Wow. And then his father called 911 on the day of the shooting to say that, oh, my gun is missing from my house and that Ethan might be the shooter. The gun had been kept in an unlocked drawer in the parents' bedroom. Oh, so now I'm going to call 911 and say, oh, my gun was missing. Wasn't your gun missing right after you purchased it? You bought it on Black Friday. Okay, you should be checking every single day that gun is somewhere, especially when you know that your son is acting, is having behavioral issues at school. That's the first thing you should have done, is to check to see, is my gun secured? All right. Over the long Thanksgiving weekend on social media, Jennifer Crumley is writing that it is a mom and dad testing out his new Christmas present. This is them testing out this firearm on social media. Ethan says, just got my new beauty today. Just got my new beauty today. Wow. 4 people are killed. 4 young people are killed. All right. A community devastated. Parents charged, their son charged. And again, we have another tragic situation in the United States. Think about it. What are the lessons to be learned here? Are there any lessons to be learned? Okay. Are we going to continue to sit back and continue to watch as these tragedies continue to make many of us insensitive to them? There was a time back when you had the school shooting back in Colorado. Okay, this would have been back in early it actually would have been in the 1990s, the late 1990s. Okay, do you guys remember that? Think about it. Just Google it. That school shooting in Colorado. That was one of the first big ones. When all those kids got killed, and it came to find that the shooters who ended up committing suicide liked a lot of that, really, really heavy metal type of music, and Marilyn Manson, that kind of music, really that kind of goth kind of stuff, You guys remember that? Okay. That the country was devastated when that happened, to the point that the president at the time, Bill Clinton, went and visited. There was just this major memorial to them, But now we have school shootings in the United States very, very often. And we are so desensitized to them. All right. But these parents of these children that were killed never will forget. Their family members never will forget. Those people that were shot and injured will never forget. That community will never forget the tragedy behind, once again, another young person, okay, with obvious behavioral issues, all right, killing other young people and devastating their lives forever. All right, this is Think About It with Jaden Miller. Again, please like, share, and subscribe on my YouTube channel. I'm certainly looking forward to hear what you all have to say. Again, I think most parents do a great job, all right? But there are those parents, okay, that are so freaking entitled, okay, and then have caused their children to become entitled, just like these parents here, okay? All right, they're acting as though their son is their best friend. All right, you have got to learn to parent your children the right way. All right, there has to be love, there has to be grace, but damn it, there also has to be some freaking discipline, okay? There has to be holding them accountable and letting them know that they are responsible for stuff, okay? And letting them know that when they're underage, that you, the parents, are responsible. And so your children should leave home every single day with this in mind, that when you go out of this house, you represent this family, you represent me, you represent your mom, you represent your dad. And when you go out there, represent us well. Don't go out there making a damn fool out of us. And certainly don't go out there and cause this tragic harm to other people's lives. As I mentioned, I'm on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all of the other podcast platforms. All right, please like, comment, and share. All right, on your favorite podcast platform. This is my Sunday edition, my Sunday episode of Think About It with Jaden Miller. Again, thank you guys for listening, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to Think About It with Jaden Miller. Don't forget to like and subscribe to his YouTube channel, and like and follow on your favorite podcast platform.